What's up, folks? Welcome, man, to the Terrible Towel post pregame show. See, I'm already thinking ahead. Terrible Towel pregame show. Welcome, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the latest episode, live from the Steel Basement, aka the virtual Heinz Field. And for those of you that don't know, I am your host, SimFBallCritic. And this is the quick show, where I just give you my quick accounts, give you my quick thoughts, my one or two keys to victory. And that's it, right? And we're out of here. No phone calls tonight. Phone numbers on the screen so you guys can have that in the stash come Tuesday. Terrible Towel Tuesday is when I accept phone calls. I do not do phone calls any longer for the pregame or the postgame. All right, so just giving you guys a heads up for those of you who are new to what we do. All right, so first thing we're going to always do, like I do each and every time I get online with you guys, I say hello to the early commenters, so let's do that first. What's going on to Rajan39? Hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing this evening? Thanks for tuning in to me for a Saturday evening. I appreciate that. Y Diggy in the building. Joshua Shields, Lydell Dorsey, Lee Sharp, Smitty, Jack Bauer, Shadow Slayer. What up, Kenyon? Me and Kenyon been talking already, man. Scouting some people. And yes, Kenyon, just saw your most recent text. Yeah. Kenny Pickett is definitely looking like the number one pick in that draft class. So any hopes that any of us, would have of him to remain in Pittsburgh, for those of you that don't know, he plays at Pitt. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's happening on Sundays because this kid might fly off that board. Jared Devil in the building. Mr. ABS in the building. Few late nights in the building as well. All right, so we will just get started. Let's get on and get in and get out. Where are my notes? Oh, I actually have them on the screen here. So what I'm basically going to talk about, man, we'll talk a little bit about the injury report. We'll talk about who's active and who won't be active, which is very important, very key. We already know that one person in particular will be activated, which is the headline title for the show here, Ben Roethlisberger. So we'll get into that. But then also I'll just give you my quick accounts, man, my quick thoughts on where I think the Steelers might be able to get an advantage and what they're really going to have to do, to win the football game, et cetera, et cetera. So let me pull up the injury stuff. Give me 2 seconds here. As of right now, we already know, as far as Friday, as far as the injury report, and then I would give you the known outs. But Chase Claypool was still limited. Actually full. He's a full participant on Friday, so he should be playing in the game. Joe Hayden, Trey Turner, Kevin Dotson, TJ Watt, Isaiah Loudermilk, and Cam Haywood were all on the injury list. Cam Haywood was a full participant Thursday and Friday, so Cam will be playing. Now, let's talk about those guys who will not be playing. And I do see Trey Turner. I almost forgot Trey Turner was full on Thursday and Friday, so he will be playing. And like I said, you will expect a Chase Claypool, a Trey Turner, and one Cam Haywood to play Sunday night. Who will not be playing? Joe Hayden will be out once again. He did not practice in the entire week. He's dealing with the foot injury. He will not be playing. Kevin Dotson had an ankle. Did not practice the entire week. None of the 3 days. He is out. TJ Watt did not practice the entire practice week, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. He is out. And Isaiah Loudermilk, and I'm a little disappointed and upset about this one because, I was liking seeing Loudermilk get some time, get some rotation, get some experience because I think he's going to be a talented, D lineman for us. But, I hate to see a guy like that go down. He had limited practice on Thursday, did not practice on Friday. He's dealing with the groin. He will be out. So once again, no Joe Hayden, no Kevin Dotson, no TJ Watt, and no Isaiah Loudermilk. Now, there were a few guys that was added to the team, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know some of these guys. Let me get their names here. I know their names for being on the roster, but what I'm saying is I don't know much about these guys. So let me just, give you that information here. Daniel Archibong, and who's the other kid? Something Lee or Scott. Can't remember his name. Is it Scott? Lee Scott or something like that. But again, I know their names for them being roster guys. And actually, hold on, guys. Let me do my due diligence and let me get you guys the actual names here. So in case some of you guys know who they are and are familiar with their work. So give me 2 seconds here. Try to be thorough. So hold on. Let me just sort these players here. So yeah, Daniel Archibong. He's a defensive tackle. And what's this kid's name here? It is Deontay Scott. Deontay Scott, he is a linebacker from SMU. And I think that is it. Everyone else, I believe we are fully aware of. Hold on, let me just make sure. Let me double check the roster. Like I said, I don't have any information to provide for these guys. I really don't know them. But there you have it. Those guys are active on the roster as of today. Now, if I just talk about some quick keys to victory, man, and some things to point out, and then we'll get into the chat for a little bit, and then we'll be out of here. Here's some things that I noticed. The Chargers, the LA Chargers, and I keep wanting to call them San Diego. The LA Chargers, they are number 3 against the pass as far as yards. I just looked at yards. Number 3 for yards allowed defending the pass. They are number 1 with the number of completions. They've only allowed 181 completions. So, why do I bring that up? Well, here's the reason why. We all know now Ben Roethlisberger is activated. He will be participating in tomorrow night's game. He will be the quarterback. It will not be Mason Rudolph. It will not be Dwayne Haskins. Unfortunately, on the other side of the field, looks like we're not going to have Minkah Fitzpatrick unless some miracle happens. But I think at this point, everything is turned in. I think you have to activate your roster. Today was the deadline. Minkah will not be playing. But the reason why I point out those passing completions allowed and yards allowed, they're at the tops of the league. Ben Roethlisberger likes to throw the football. So it will be interesting if we end up having another game like we saw in a Mason Rudolph last week. And like I said, anytime when your running back gets 26 carries and your quarterback throws it for 50, in my opinion, I don't know how you keep that from being in balance. Like, it's not like you didn't try to run the ball. So, that was kind of a fluke. But it does make me wonder, is Ben Roethlisberger going to favor the pass or is he going to favor the run? I definitely think one of the keys to victory against the Chargers will be to run the football. Do you want to know why? Well, again, after looking at some statistics, and let me preface this by saying these are the stats that was shown on NFL.com. How accurate they are, I don't know. This is not PFF. This is not any other those sites. I'm getting it directly from the NFL.com. So I'm assuming it's correct, at least up to whenever they decide to update. It shows here that the Chargers, as far as yardage, they are 32nd in the league. They're last in the league against the run, okay? They are number 1 in carries allowed. Yards allowed per carry. Number 1 in yards allowed per carry, which is 4.8. So let me say that again. Total yards, they are 32nd with defending the run game. Yards allowed per carry, they are first in allowing the most yards per carry, which is 4.8. Very interesting. Now, here's where it gets even more detailed. They're number 3 in 20-plus yard runs allowed. Number 3 in the league. So listen to that. Listen to these stats again. Again, according to the NFL.com. The Chargers are last in the league at defending the run with total yards allowed so far this season. They're number 1 in yards per carry, which is 4.8. And they are number 3 in the amount of 20-yard, plus yard runs that they have allowed. They're number 3. But here's the funny thing. They have 8 20-plus yard runs against them, and they're number 3. Guess who is number 1? Guess who is the number 1 team in the NFL that allows 20-plus yard runs? You guessed it. The Pittsburgh Steelers. And we've allowed 11. 11. Let me put that in perspective. We allowed 11 20-plus yard gains in the run game. We are the number 1 team. We've allowed the most. Remember when I kept saying, man, even before this last game, man, we just keep allowing these big runs, these chunks. Think about Seattle. You just think about a couple of those games. And we shut down Nick Chubb, but then those other teams, they just were able to gash us in spurts. There's the proof right there. We lead the league in allowing 20-plus yard runs. And as of now, according to NFL.com, we have 11. It's not good. That is not good. So what does that sound like to me? This is a very easy one. I mean, again, some of these things you can say each and every week, and it does apply. But this is one that's very simple. The Steelers must run the football, and we must defend the run and possess the football. Because where I am a little concerned is our secondary. I'm big on Justin Herbert. I'm high on his ability. I'm high on what he can do. We know they have some weapons, out there that they could throw the ball to. And I'm a little concerned as well with us defending the run. We've seen, if you watch football like I've watched it this season, and we've seen Eckler be a problem and a guy that can run the football. So I am concerned going into this game, man, as far as how we're going to defend the run. I'm pretty sure the Chargers took a look at what Detroit was able to do, and they're going to have a similar attack. I've also seen that they use some of the same fronts and formations, like the 6-man look on the line when they run the football. So they could very well come out and replicate what Detroit was doing. A little concerned about that. So hopefully we'll be able, we'll be more equipped to do it. But again, man, you're going in there without one of your top studs. So even when Justin Herbert drops back to pass, we don't have TJ Watt on the other side. We're going into this game. Here's the funny thing. We're going into this game with Alex Highsmith and Taco Charlton as your starters. Those are your starters. Behind them is that kid, what's his name again? Deontay Scott, or whatever his name. I don't know who he is. And the Derek Tuska kid. Those will be your 4 outside pass rushers going into this game. We are going into this game with Taco Charlton and Alex Highsmith as your starters. Now, of course, really high on Alex Highsmith. I think Alex Highsmith is coming around. The sack numbers are not quite there yet, but you're seeing his pressure. You're seeing him involved in the run game. It's just that the sacks haven't added up yet, but I think he's close. But now Taco is definitely going to get his time to shine if he has anything that he can offer. So it's going to be interesting. So like I said, man, it doesn't look good for the boys. But this one is very simple to me, man. We're going to have to run the football. Again, let me read these stats to you again, guys, so you understand where I'm going with it. And I think Ben Roethlisberger will be able to manage the game like he has been. I think Ben can get that balance going. Think about a couple of the games that we won, where Ben didn't throw the ball no more than 20, 25 times, and Najee was able to run for 100 yards. I think it's very possible for us to have that type of game against the Chargers because, again, they're 32nd in the league as far as yards allowed against the run. They're number 1 in the league as far as the amount of yards per carry at 4.8. So that to me sounds like Pittsburgh Steelers line up and run the football with Najee Harris. And hopefully we see a more rotation because we say this every week, man, but we can't keep running Najee into the ground. Let's try to get more guys going. But then again, let's be very careful when we attempt to pass the football, man. Let's not get past heavy Ben Roethlisberger. I told you guys, according to the NFL, they say that the Chargers right now are 3rd. They're 3rd in the league with yards allowed with the pass, but they're number 1 with the least amount of completions allowed. They're number 1 in the league, so it's going to be tough. You would expect for us to just pass the ball all over the yard. So what we definitely need to do is go in there and take advantage of their weakness. We have been able to run the football here lately. So let's see if we can get that going. Make it a fast game. As far as when I mean fast is continue to run the ball and make the clock run. Let's possess the ball, control the time of possession with the run game, pass when we need to. And we're gonna have to step up and defend the run on the other end, because like I said, they will run the ball with Eckler. They throw some of the same looks out there as far as how they stack the line and they run out of it. So that's it, and we'll see. But I definitely don't like. Let's talk about the secondary real quick, man. Then I'll go to the chat for a minute. I'm a little concerned, man, because I do want to know, what do we do? How are we going to approach it? We do now know that Carl Joseph is active as well, so I am very curious to see how we approach it. We talked about it on Tuesday, as far as some of us said we would rather see Carl Joseph play more in the box than he does deep, and maybe that is the plan. Maybe when we play more, when we have a package where Joseph is out there, maybe you got Norwood playing deep, along with Terrell Edmonds. But it's going to be interesting, because remember this, guys, the Steelers, we do run some cover one, right? We run cover 3 too. So we run both of those situations. You have a single high safety. So who are we going to ask to be that? Is this going to be more of a game where you see the Steelers run more cover 2 than they do cover 1 or cover 3? Is this a game where we keep the 2 high shell, whether it's 2-man or cover 2? It's going to be interesting, but it's going to be very telling, man, for you guys that are football nerds, that know all of that stuff. Pay attention to that, the first few defensive series, and see how we're going to approach it. It's going to be interesting. Especially, Norwood has been getting more of the reps at nickel. So now what do we do in the nickel? Do we rotate, Norwood to be another safety, or are we going to be comfortable if it's Carl Joseph and Edmonds as the official safeties? And which one of those guys is going to be the post safety? You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. And Killebrew, let's not forget Killebrew. I know somebody mentioned him as well on Tuesday. And, I did see him in the game when I rewatched the film. So I am just very curious to see how they're going to approach it, what packages we throw out there. Will we see Cam Sutton play a little safety? It's going to be very interesting, man. And, Mike Tomlin kind of alluded to the fact that it'll take multiple guys to kind of do, what Minkah is able to do and try to fill that void. So that's all I got, guys. Again, not too exciting, but very simple. Take advantage of them, run that football, expose them being the 32nd in the league and the first in the league at yards allowed. Let's stick to that, and let's try to keep a lid on it in terms of the run game, and make Justin Herbert beat you, which he can. And if I'm being honest to the Charger fans, that's how you beat us. If Justin Herbert is in his bag and he's throwing the ball all over the yard and we got a couple questionable pieces out there in the secondary, that's how the Chargers take care of the Steelers, if we're able to stop the run. So it's going to be an interesting one, guys. I don't like it. I definitely don't like us being on the road. And again, y'all know how I've been feeling the last few weeks. I just don't think we are a great football team right now. We're capable of winning, sure. But I just don't have that level of confidence that I would normally have when we are a solid team. And I think you guys understand what I mean by that. So all right, guys, that's all I got. Did that in about 20 minutes, so I'm proud of that. So I could definitely get in and get out of this show tonight under 30 minutes. So let me throw it to you guys, man. What y'all got? Give me some questions, thoughts, concerns. I'll read a few of them here. Mr. ABS says, Joseph has some familiarity with the Chargers, having played for the Raiders. So maybe that experience will help some as well for this game. That's why I was surprised Miller didn't get called for the Bears. Yeah, that's a great assessment right there, man. And you're right. You would have thought, Miller would have gotten called up for that game. But it definitely seems like, man, the Steelers kind of follow that protocol of depth chart, as far as, Sims had been with us longer. So maybe they felt like Sims knew a little more in the limited snaps that he got versus what Miller would have done. And I don't know, in this scenario, it is a little different because they did actually bring up Joseph. So maybe what you said would definitely pan out. Stiller Lee says, then again, there's supposed reports that Tomlin wants a veteran quarterback instead of drafting one. So if that be the case, use the first rounder on the offensive lineman. Okay, I think you guys are talking about quarterbacks and drafts and things like that. I'm just gonna look above that comment. I see Smitty says, I think Norwood would be the deep safety. I do too. That's kind of what I said Tuesday. I think you're gonna see more of Norwood deep, which the only concern again is Norwood was also getting rotation in the nickel more so in this last game as well, and less, more than Marlette. So it makes me wonder if when we go to nickel, are we going to be in a situation where Marlette comes in and you're going to have Norwood play back there, or is it going to be a situation where you have Joseph playing that kind of the nickel or playing in the box, you know what I mean, and still put Norwood in the back? Or is it going to be a situation where you prefer Norwood out of just nickel, just base nickel, you prefer Norwood in the nickel, and you put Edmonds and Joseph as the two deep, even though both of them are essentially more of the strong safety type. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm agreeing with you, Smitty. I think we'll see Norwood more so the additional deep safety, the post safety position, if you will. So essentially playing Minkah's spot. What else you got? Andre Romero says, would you bring the heat against Herbert? I don't know, Andre, maybe in spurts, because we ain't got them dudes in the back end, man, that are we comfortable with being able to hold the fort if the blitz doesn't get home. And Kenyon actually mentioned this to me as well earlier. He actually sent me a report clip. One of the reporters was saying, and Kenyon had said this too, that's probably why we don't blitz as much, because of guys like Hayden, and you're not so comfortable with them being able to plaster their guy. So, you're left vulnerable and you're left exposed when you blitz. Excuse me for a second, guys. I got to sneeze. All right. Sorry about that. So, but we might, there might be spurts and moments when you can blitz them. You know what I mean? But I definitely wouldn't get blitz happy. Let's see what else you guys got. Dietrich Bundick says Joe Hayden is out. Where's Witherspoon? Yeah, maybe Witherspoon is brought up, but we all know Witherspoon has not been the guy when this situation has occurred. It is going to be James Pierre, no question about it. And maybe Witherspoon gets a hack. It's going to have to depend on him or Justin Lane, right? Because right now you're going to be looking at Pierre, Sutton, and let me see. Witherspoon might get a helmet. Let me just take a look again, guys. Let me just make sure I'm not tripping. So we have Lane, of course, and Marlette are both listed as corners. Witherspoon. So technically we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We technically have 6 corners, right? So if Hayden is out, I'm thinking Justin Lane will be up because he's a gunner. Pierre will be up, and Cameron Sutton. And they're probably going to keep Marlette active too. So that could be it. Maybe they only go into the game with a 4-man, cornerback rotation. But if there's room, then maybe Witherspoon. But, Trey Norwood is kind of listed as a DB, so he's not really classified as a corner. So it's all going to depend on what their daily roster, their game day roster looks like as far as the active players, but Witherspoon has not really been able to get a helmet. Maybe he does, maybe there's room to squeeze him in now that Hayden is officially out. So we'll see. Why Diggy says, with Dotson on IR, will they have Hasenauer or Haig at right guard? Probably Hasenauer. I would expect it to be Hasenauer to be the guy. I think they're trying not to play Haig as much because it affects the compensatory pick situation, but I don't know. I don't know if they're really doing that, but my guess would be Hasenauer because, he came in. he was more or less the guy who came in last week, right off the bench. So I think you'll see it that way. I think it'll still be Dan Moore, Hasenauer will be the fill-in, Kendrick Green, Chooks, and then who am I missing? Who's the right guard? Who am I missing, guys? Am I bugging? Who's the other guard? Why can't I remember this right now? Moore, Hasenauer, Kendrick Green. Chooks is the tackle. Why? Oh, Trey Turner's out. So there you go. So yeah, now both Haig and Homeboy, they both of them might have to be active. Or Finney. I don't know. Is BJ Finney available or is he injured? I don't remember. So yeah, it's a good question, guys. Let's pay attention to who's active and who's not. Good question right there, Y Diggy. Let's see what else y'all got, man. Give me Anything else, guys? Yeah. See, Diggy said Turner. Yeah, Turner's out though. Turner's gonna be out if I'm not mistaken. Didn't I say he was out? Let me just double check my notations here. I think Turner is also going to be out. Let's confirm. Let's confirm. 1 second. I just had it up too. Yeah, here we go. So it looks like where is it, man? I just lost it. I had my notes up and I just lost it somehow. But I think I said Turner is out. Or is he? Or did he practice? No, he practiced. Okay. So yeah, it will be Trey Turner. Trey Turner will be the right guard because he didn't practice on Wednesday, but he was a full on Thursday and Friday. So yeah, it's going to be Trey Turner. So yeah, now after we did all that rumbling and rambling on, it should be Dan Moore, Hasenauer, Kendrick Green, Turner, and then probably Chooks. And, Banner, I'm sure, will be active again, so we'll see if he fits anywhere into that fold. But, yeah, that's pretty much what this situation, I think, is going to be. Yeah, Banner was active last week, guys. He was active last week. He just didn't really get in the game, but he was active. Yeah, Trey Turner, yeah, it was my bad, guys. I forgot. It was Trey Turner. Trey Turner will be playing. He was a full participant. Dietrich says, if Weatherspoon doesn't play this week, he's not going to be a part of the defense going forward. Absolutely. Looks like a wasted pick. But all right, guys, I think that's going to do it, man. We're right at 30 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Again, the pregame is just a quick in and out, quick analysis, and that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this boy up. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. We'll definitely be doing a post game, even though, the game is later. We'll do a quick post game, and we'll see, man. We'll see if we're talking about a victory or a loss. I don't know. Like I said, man, it'd be different if I felt like this team was a good team. I just don't think we're a great team. I do think we're capable of winning football games, winning the slugfest, if you will. But I just don't have that feeling of this team that I'm confident that we go somewhere and win. They just haven't shown that to me. They just have not shown that to me on a consistent basis where the defense and offense have played as a unit and, you were confident. And again, that's not me saying that we're not going to win. If we don't, I'm not going to be surprised. And how we win or don't will always be the discussion. But we'll see, man. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great remainder of the night. If you are a boxing fan like myself, make sure you watch that fight tonight, man. Man, Crawford versus Porter, that should be some fireworks right there. I will be watching that, no question about it. But other than that, man, I hope you guys are well. Stay safe, stay blessed. And the next time you see me will be tomorrow night for the post-game show. All right, so once again, thanks for tuning in tonight, man. And before you go, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Why not? You're watching anyway. Why don't you subscribe? Cut on your notifications so you know when videos are available. And the last thing, if you like what you see, like the video. It only makes sense, right? If your mind says, ooh, I like this, well, why don't you show it? Show me that you like it. That's all I ask. But all right, man, catch you guys tomorrow night after the Chargers versus the Steelers. Peace.